Welcome to the InDesign first tutorial. We're going to take a quick look at the workspace. The very first thing I did when I opened up InDesign, this window comes up here with some options, and I clicked on Create New Document. You can also create books and other library documents in there. There's also a community kind of chat room, user group, message board type thing where you can go and get information and also some plugins and other things that you can add to InDesign. So when I open up new document, I get this window here, and there's just a few things that we'll go over. The intent is to print. You can also do web design and digital publishing that you will not print. We're going to choose print. It's a fairly high quality document that you'll end up with. You can choose the number of pages. So I'm going to choose, let's go with 5. Starting at page 1. I can choose my paper size as well. So you've got your typical defaults and then of course your custom. InDesign uses picas. So right now I'm at 51 picas by 66 picas, and that's 8.5 by 11 inches. And my orientation, well, I can do portrait or landscape. I can choose columns if I want, and then I can also adjust my margins, or I'm going to leave them at 3 picas. It's kind of the standard typical. I can change them all at once, or if I check this box here, which is a very common box in InDesign, if I uncheck that or break the link, then I can change one at a time to whatever it is that I want. Picas are broken up into 12 parts, and so half a pica is 6 points there. The last thing we'll take a look at is facing pages. And facing pages, if you have that checked, what it will do is it will put 2 pages on one panel. So you can look at 2 pages at the same time. If I uncheck that, it will only put 1 page per panel. And we'll take a look at that in a moment. So I'm going to click OK, and it will create the document. Take a moment. It's a fairly big piece of software. So there's my portrait, and here are my facing pages. So if you don't want facing pages, then what you can do is go to File and Document Setup. It will take you back to a simplified window here where I can change the orientation. I can uncheck facing pages. More options are here, of course. We won't worry about those at the moment. And then I click OK, and it will adjust my document for me. There's your typical file edit menu up here. We'll take a look at a couple of those in this tutorial, but we'll go there a few times to look at other things as well. But it has all the usual save, copy, paste type things, and also some InDesign specific ones. What I will show you is this automatic zoom level. So I can zoom way in to 1200%, I can zoom way out to 12.5%. So I can see my whole document. Around 60-75% gives you a full page view anywhere in there. This window here allows you to see certain things like the rulers, the guides, the smart guides, baseline grid, those kinds of things. And I can check those or uncheck those, and then I will not see them. So if I want to hide my rulers, for whatever reason, I can do that. Normally you keep them on because you use guidelines a fair bit. So there's my baseline grid. It looks like lined paper, and it just basically sections off the whole document into different same height grid lines. The next one over allows for different views. So for example, the two that we will use mainly are normal and preview. So if I want to see what my document looks like without the margins and guidelines that I can drag in. So for example, I'll just quickly drag in a guideline here. And then I can go to preview to see what it will look like when I print my document without those. When I have something selected, I will see it. So you notice that one guideline stayed visible for a while, and that's because when I click on it, I select it and it allows me to move it or delete it. And so when I go to preview, it will still stay there until I click or deselect it. This allows you to see more than one document when I have more than one document open. I currently only have one, but if you have 3 or 4 documents open, you can choose different views to see all the documents at the same time, or different parts of it anyhow. On the left, we have all the different tools that we'll use, and I'll just remove that. It's a different piece of software, and so some of the drawing tools, the editing tools, text tool, drawing shapes and picture frames and pen and pencil tool, gradient, and so on. So we'll take a look at some of those tools over the tutorials. For each tool, there's a tool options bar up at the top that allows you to modify that tool. So if I go to the text tool, for example, I can choose my font, my font size, and a whole bunch of different settings that are up there as well. This, of course, is my document, and let's go back to the normal view. We have this big panel here that allows me to work outside the document and then drag things in if I want to do that. Gives me more space, and these scroll bars, of course, will go back and forth. So that's the tool options bar. You've got the ability to jump from page to page down here. So right now I'm on page 1. I can click on this and go to page 2, or this button here and go to the last page, and of course the first page. Over on the right, we have all these different palettes, and you'll notice that I have a whole bunch of them. And this is most of the ones that typically you would use when you're creating a document. So what this is called is your workspace. And if you want to change your workspace, you go to Window, and I can go to my workspace and have all these different basically setups in the workspace that I can use. So if I'm looking for just the bare minimum, what I would need to create a document, I would go to Essentials, and it would reorganize my workspace into this format, give me a big view of my document so I can zoom fairly far in, and then it would show me some of these different palettes like my swatches and my line styles and so on. I can go to, say, advanced, and it will give me more. You can see I have more here. And then if I want to call up windows that I generally don't have, what I can do is go to my, say, my styles, and say I want character styles. I can click on that. Oh, it's already open, sorry. Let's try a different one. So I have character and paragraph. Let's go to Window, Styles, and Object Styles. It's there as well. Well, I should really pay attention. So you'll obviously see that those open up. So if let's say I have layers, output. So say if I'm doing a pre-flight where I'm packaging up to send to a publisher, I can open that up. It'll open it up here in a window, but if I want to just drop it into here, I can place it there and then just click on it to open it up. So it won't clutter up my desktop. And so there's all these different ones that you can open up and use. So for example, do I have tables? I do not have tables, so I'll open up the tables one, and I can drag that there and have it ready and available by the click of a button, so I can format and create my tables. So that's one other workspace that we'll take a look at, and you can just play around and choose the ones that you want. So you can look at all the new stuff, interactive for PDFs. If you just are doing digital publishing or a book, you can do that. If you ever lose stuff, all you have to do is go to the reset button, and I click on that, and it will reset it to what I had originally, the default. So if you lose things, just go to reset, and that happens once in a while. In order to open and close things, you can click on this double arrow here, and this double arrow here will open up all of them at once, and then you can click on these tabs to go into the hidden ones. So if I'm looking for strokes or gradient, I can do that. So that's your basic workspace. What we'll do is take a look at how guidelines work and what they're used for, and then we'll take a look at adding in some different elements to create a publishing document.